Another month, another budget. This month of August was kind of all over the place. We had a pretty good structure of saving, paying off debt, spending, and our expenses were kind of on the higher side to replenish groceries and really take a step into getting ready for the school season and really knowing what we're going to figure out. Well, our August budget went from the end of July to the 22nd of August, and let's close that out. Now, as a reminder, I have been budgeting for over 2 years now. We started in June of 2023, and I have been up and down with our finances. We had debt, we had expenses, we had things that we just had to pay off, from collections to car payments. Now we have a home project that we financed. We're saving up for buying our home, and we have to replenish our emergency fund. We need to make sure that our sinking funds are ready for those year-long payments, and we also need to make sure that we are just having fun in life and finding that balance within the day-to-day. So over the last 2 years, there's been a lot that has changed in our budget. There's a lot that has ebbed and flowed, and it's really important that you understand that we are a family of three. We are mid-income, we have tenants, we live with our family, we rent from my mom. There's so many things that come about that makes our financial situation different from other people, and I don't want you to judge from your day one to our day 1000. At this point, it feels like we've been doing this for months and months and months. But as always, make sure that you know your income, your expenses, where you need to pay off debt, how you can sink money, how you can spend money, and how you can find balance in your day-to-day life so that you can feel financially stable. Please check out any of my financial videos, as I am always sharing new ways to change your mindset around money, how to be more productive with your money, and how to just show up for your financial freedom. So welcome back to Balance While Blooming. My name is Bridget. I'm 26 years old. I'm a wife, a stepmom. I work a full 9 to 5 and balance my life as I am working on passions, finding my purpose, and leaning into what is meant for me. And I'm doing that by sharing how I believe in myself, build the life of my dreams, balance that day-to-day life so that I can bloom and become into this next level, this person I want to be, and my best self. And here, I want you to remember that over here and on Instagram that you can always follow me, and I hope to inspire you to keep believing in yourself, keep building the life of your dreams, and find balance in your life so that you can start blooming and balancing your day-to-day life. Finances are only one area of life. If it stresses you out, please just try to figure it out one day at a time and one step at a time, because you don't want your finances or money to overwhelm you or just really take over everything. And remember that there's other areas of life for you to focus on, and this may not be the season of life where you go all in with money. About 2 months ago was when we went all in with money. We had to make sure that we paid off debt, we sunk money, that we did it all. But right now we're kind of just letting the money flow for the life that we want to live for the rest of 2025, and the next year we will get back on our financial goals, because it's just not the season of life for us to be saving and paying off debt. And we want to just experience life as we have holidays, birthdays, and the end of the year for our family is just very go. I don't want to stress about money, and I want to have the experiences that I can. So let's jump into our budget. I will show you guys what I expected for August and then what actually happened. Okay, so as you can see, we had an okay month for our budget. It was about $7,000 of income, and that was going to be spread between our expenses, sinking funds, spending funds, and debt. And overall, we had a really good balance of where we wanted our money to go. Now, you always want to start with your income. You want to know the money that you had coming in. You'll see that I put some red here. These are just extras that got added in the month of August of things that we added into our budget. For our income, we are still on a medium time for my husband. It's kind of hard to explain because he works at UPS. There's been an ebb and flow, and then of course Christmas is coming right around the corner, but usually August and September is a little bit slower. And as you can see, the end of July, that last week, was a very high week for us, and then we were kind of around that 560 to 640 range. It just kind of depended on what they had, who they had for people, and what they were doing. So it wasn't a great month, but it wasn't a bad month either. Then I get paid bi-weekly and I get paid $1,880. So that is right around the range that we always expect. And I always budget for less so that when we have anything, we know we have about $130 extra if anything happens. Rent this month was only $1,200. It was, I believe, fully $1,400. We just used it for cash things that we didn't put in here. So technically they paid on time. It was just some things this month kind of were used with cash and not cash, and I didn't track everything perfectly this month, so I just went by what was on our checking account, what moved into our credit cards, what moved into every single aspect of that and into our savings. So the income is what hit our checking account. Cash back from our Discover card. I do this about once a year. It was $200. We already lapsed our 1 year, so where they like double your cash back. So now it's just a cash back card. We don't use it all the time, but when we do, it's nice to get cash back. So that's what that is. And then we had some extra in our checking account, and I was like, we can do something with this $500. What are we doing? And so it actually worked out with some of the things that happened, but I will tell you, I'm skipping ahead, that we did get to put $250 extra to our home project. So that's part of the 500, just so you guys know. So we ended up with a little bit over 8,000. So that's great. We made more money than we expected. That's always the goal every single month, no matter what. That's why we budget so low. Now, removing this $250, you have $8,195 to spend, right? That goes between your expenses. Then I would pay off your debt. Then I'd make sure you can sink some money, and then you can spend some money. So that's how you kind of budget it out. For our expenses, we have our normal expenses that are always the same every single month. But not this month. This was an additional $40 for our annual fee for our gym. So that bumped up to $75. We had an RMV appointment, so we called that a bill because that is life expensive. And then if you've ever watched me before, you should be so proud that I over budgeted for our groceries. We love food. Food in our house goes by so quickly, and this was probably the first month in forever that we've been less on our budget. So I'm really proud of us for that. Even while traveling, going camping, doing all of that, we had less gas. We do not have to pay for health insurance. Soon that will be gone, and we will just have health and wellness, which is for our health bills, co-pays, all of that, because I am now on my husband's. I'm so happy. That saves us about $350 a month, guys. You have no idea where that money's gonna go in the months moving forward. But for subscriptions, we've also been really good about this, that cutting back on our Amazon subscribe and save, and really just paying for our Xbox, Game Pass, and our Hulu, Disney Plus, and ESPN. That's pretty much all we've been paying for. So now jumping down to your debt. Once you have your expenses paid, you want to make sure that you're paying your debt. So we did pay our car payment, we did pay our home project bill, and we did put an extra $250. So that's amazing. That's great. I'm so proud of us. Now let's talk about if we were able to save. Yes, we were able to save exactly what we expected to save. That being said, we have $2,000. That's a little bit more than I would ever like to spend, especially as we budgeted only $870. But that's where this random comes in. I needed a new phone. So I got a new phone case, and a new screen protector. I got the iPhone 16. I love it. It needed to happen. I had an iPhone 11 to do content, to do reels, to do Instagram. That was all just there. That was kind of a side thing, but I'm so glad that I got my new phone. So that left us with $945. Did we stay on track? Let's see. $625. We actually went under for our dine out fam fun and all of that, but we did a little bit overspend for our other miscellaneous. But disclaimer, almost 100 of that was our oil change, so I do consider that we're on the right path. Now, as you can see, this is our budget. This is what we do. You have to remember that we budget in a very unique way, in the way of how we put our categories, how we put our sections, how we handle our money. All of that is how this looks. This is pretty average, and it's pretty much going to stay this way for the rest of the year because I'm not sinking a lot of money unless I have extra money. But I also don't want, when you have an extra $1,000, I don't want to be spending it on random. But I did call it my birthday present. My birthday is at the end of September, and I just wanted to make sure that I had a phone. We're going away. I wanted to make sure that I had a valid license. My license was expiring, so we had to go to the RMV. Like, all of these things are natural things when you're balancing your life. So I want to remind you that this is our budget. This is our family. This was what works for us. Now, I just want to remind you of what our income to expenses ratio is, income to debt ratio is, and income to sinking fund and spending fund ratio. As you guys can see, based off of our budgeted amount and our actual amount, we had a high expense, as I said, and it actually worked out with that extra money that we were right on average at that 44%, almost 45%. So only 5% difference, but that's okay. We do want to always at least put 5% of our debt into there, and we put 14, so that's more than what we expected. So more went into that based off the income that we had for our actual, which I'm really proud of. For our sinking funds, we did save less than what we expected, so we should have been saving a little bit more with that extra money that came in, but that's okay. We will pick that back up in a few months. And then realistically, we stayed on track even with adding that $1,000. We are right at 24%, which is right at the 25%, even though we only budgeted for 12%, which I was really proud of. Not every month works out that way. And I feel like lately we've been on a spending spree. So much changes throughout the month, and I don't want to have unrealistic expectations. Showing you guys what I expected, what I wanted to happen, and then what actually happened feels more authentic, more real, more raw, and to the point of who I want to be for you guys, what I want to show you, and how I want to budget my life. So as a reminder, you can believe that you are worthy of money, that you're capable of achieving money. You can believe that you have all the mindset skills and productivity around money. But are you building for success? Do you have a plan with money? Do you know what you want to achieve? Do you know where you want that money to go? And how are you going to balance that with the life that you're already living? What do you need to cut out? What do you need to do? And how are you going to bloom with money? What do you need to do that's a little bit different to expand and grow your money? Where do you need to save? Where do you need to spend? Where do you need to just shift that money and really sink in the time that you need? But as always, make sure that you know your financial situation and that who you're becoming is based off the work that you do now. So I really challenge you to start showing up as your best self with your finances. Really check yourself, find a routine, find a system, and really be productive when it comes to your finances, because it's important that you show up for yourself, who you want to be, and how you're going to live your life. And as always, I cannot wait to see and hear about your budget. Let me know if you were in the red, if you were in the green, where you made more money, where you spent too much. For me, I spent way too much this month, but that doesn't mean next month I can't change, have a clean slate, and show up as my best self again, and really start taking different habits, different actions, and changing my life one day at a time. And so can you. So as always, keep balancing, keep blooming, join this community, as we are always inspiring you from not just money, but from every aspect of life to become your best self. And I will see you guys soon. Bye, guys.